Well, let me ask you something. If a person says, I was born male, but I feel like I am female, or I was born female, but I feel like I am male, is that a mental illness or is that something else? You see, this question exploding everywhere in schools, politics, sports, and even inside families. Some people say, yes, it is clearly a disorder. Others say, no, it is completely normal. So, what does science actually say? Let's slow down and look at facts. First, we need to understand one important thing. Being transgender means a person's gender identity does not match the biological sex they were born with. Now, here is something important. In the past, especially before 2013, doctors used the term gender identity disorder. But in 2013, something big happened. The American Psychiatric Association released a new version of the DSM-5. That's the big manual doctors used to classify mental illnesses. And they removed gender identity disorder. Instead, they added a new term, gender dysphoria. Now listen carefully. Being transgender itself is not listed as a mental illness, but gender dysphoria is. What's the difference? Gender dysphoria means severe distress, emotional pain, because a person's body and identity do not match. So the illness is not being transgender. The illness is the distress. That is very important difference. And this decision was also supported later by the World Health Organization. In 2019, WHO removed gender identity disorder from the mental disorders chapter in its ICD-11 classification. They moved it to sexual health. Why? Because global experts said labeling transgender identity as a mental illness increases stigma and suicide risk. Now let's talk about data. Studies show transgender people face very high mental health struggles. According to surveys in the United States, nearly 40% of transgender adults report attempting suicide at least once in their life. That number is extremely high compared to the general population. But here is the key question. Is that because they are transgender or because they face bullying, rejection, violence and discrimination? Many researchers argue the second one. A 2022 report from mental health groups found that transgender youth who receive family support show much lower depression and suicide rates compared to those who are rejected. So environment matters. But, and this is important, there is still debate. Some scientists question whether early medical transition for children is safe long term. Countries like Sweden, Finland and the UK have recently reviewed their policies and become more cautious about puberty blockers for minors. So the debate today is not, are transgender people mentally ill? The debate is more about medical treatment, age limits and long-term effects. Now let's talk biology. Are there brain differences? Some small brain imaging studies suggest that transgender individuals may show brain patterns that resemble their identified gender in certain areas. But research is still limited and not fully conclusive. So science is still learning. Now socially, things are changing very fast. In many Western countries, transgender rights have expanded, including legal gender changes and anti-discrimination laws. In India, the Supreme Court in 2014 recognized transgender people as a third gender. That was a historic step. But socially, stigma still exists. So where does this leave us? Well, most major medical organizations today do not classify being transgender as a mental illness. But they do recognize that gender dysphoria, the severe distress, requires mental health care. So the real issue is not about calling someone ill. The real issue is about how society responds. Do we respond with understanding or with anger? And here is the future question. As science improves with better long-term data, policies may change again. Because medicine always evolves. Just like how homosexuality was once listed as a mental disorder and then removed in 1973 by the American Psychiatric Association, science changes with evidence. So maybe the better question is not, is it a mental illness? But rather, how do we reduce suffering and improve lives? Because at the end of the day, behind politics, behind social media fights, there are real human beings and real human pain. And science must deal with facts, not fear. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this debate is more scientific or more political? Let me know in the comments.